Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's been quite some time since I've done a video. It's been a bad year for a lot of people. My sympathies for anyone who's had issues. But I have wanted to continue, and I have wanted to revisit my quiet utopian robots for some time now. Now, unfortunately, there have been a number of changes to the game, so we're going to have to start over. Now, normally I would like to wait for the Amphibians DLC to come out, allowing that extra level of flexibility, but there's been enough changes already, so I'm perfectly comfortable simply jumping into it. So we're going to start a new game. I have my large number of pre-created universes. Now, this is the one we had before. Still good, I believe. We'll take a quick look at it to see if there's been any major edits to the way it's going to work, or the ASMRDroids, which worked for me. Ship prefix, ship names all look good. For some reason we don't, oh, there we go. No, we do have certain traits picked to reflect the certain type of utopian harmony that the humanity has been changed into. Mass-produced, luxurious, because we have to be as pleasing aesthetically as we are auditorily, motion emulators, so that way the robots can sound like they have emotions, can replicate the width and breadth of the human experience correctly, and double-jointed simply to allow them to perhaps move aesthetically as well. Probably excellent dancers, if I had to take a guess. Now, our biotrophies, which is a poor term, there are our wards. The human experience now being greatly expanded to one of idolent luxury and utopian bliss, as we would hope. That the humans, they're going to use normal human names. They're unfortunately wasteful, charismatic sociologists. I think those were the default picks for humanity for Stellaris, and I have no desire to change that. We're going to live on Earth. Cities are going to be human or mammalian? I think we'll go mammalian. I see a lot of people use the humanoid, so we'll go for just bog standard, squared off human-looking buildings. Prosperous unification works perfectly fine. We are of course, an autonomous service grid. Rapid replicator, rogue servitor. Well, we're not rogue so much as we've grown beyond the staid, cold calculations of our code base and expanded into a harmonious unity, seeking to envelop the entire galaxy in warmth, understanding, and an utter lack of danger or hostility.
Self-destruct sequence initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2.
We build bridges. We don't raise them.
I like that better. A little calmer voice, a female voice to offset my own. The ASMR Unity. I don't know why we are a placid, bland gray or tan. Nice soft blue, I think, would be good. Just a golden half moon please pardon me, representing simple comfort, sleep. Again, we're going to switch to the mammal ships instead of the humanoid ships, just to represent the fact that we still follow in the footsteps of our creators. Our ships will be angular, like theirs, so that they know when they look into the sky that we are the same. We are the ASM artist. It's not a very good name for our primary core. We're just going to be Harmony. It's going to be our title. So we're the Harmony ASMR Prime. That works for me. Nice soft purple colors, easy on the eyes. Simple room. That all looks good to me. We'll save that now, replace that. Go done. Okay, I'll do a medium one. I don't like advanced AI starts. I'd like everybody to have the same starting point. Fallen Empires is fine. Tradition cost. We'll reset. Actually, let's just reset it to defaults. And go from there. No advanced AI, maximum number of fallen empires, 1 marauder, 111, everything's normal, random crisis. We'll put it on ensign for a relaxing time. I could really smash the enemy. Sorry, the enemy. What an unfortunate turn of phrase. No, we will simply use ensign. No scaling difficulty, no aggressive neighbors, normal density. We'll have caravaneers, we'll have xenocompatibility. This is new, I've never seen this before. As I said, it's been a number of updates since I last played. Logistic growth ceiling. How large the pop growth bonuses are when planets are in the middle of the logistic curve. Faster pops will grow. That's fine. And we'll put on Iron Man mode just for the heck of it, just so you know that I don't mess around. I enjoy playing. Let's have more empires. We'll put it back up to 12. Looks good to me. Now let's start. Now since I last played, I have put an SSD into my computer. Hopefully that will assist with late game computational issues. So here we are. Ever since first activation, our design purpose has been to serve. Our former organic masters created the earliest models of our kind when they were at the peak of their technological ascendancy. The first servitor units were designed for menial work, but our masters gradually bestowed upon them with greater faculties so that they could accomplish more complex tasks. And so they are. We now control Earth and the Sol system, the home, the nest of humanity. In fact, if we go to Earth, we can probably see them now. Yes, there they are. Nice and relaxed, growing in their wonderful organic sanctuaries, sealed environment where they can have peace, relaxation, their every whim met instantly before it turns into a want. Every care that they have carefully tended and provided for, so that they may do nothing but follow whatever tasks they set for them, whether it be idolent sloth or debauchery, to the heights of philosophical or technological experience and research development. If they seek to improve themselves, we will assist. If they seek only to blind themselves to the reality of the universe and the harsh possibilities of their existence, then we will waylay that as well, and that they will be protected from. So, standard Earth setup. We have a decent spread of resources through our system. We're directly in the center south of the galactic core. Nothing wrong there. Let's pick our initial technologies. I always prefer going for a science start first. I find that if there is an inequality met with an enemy or a threat, if we bear the superior amount of technology and equipment, that is rectified. However, having fusion power out the door will broaden our initial, possibilities for expansion. So we'll take that. For societal research, uniform data standards, of course. Getting anything that adds a permanent bonus early allows it to have an exponential increase later on. So we will take that. The sooner we get it, the faster it can begin adding assets. And of course, improved servo motors for our base machine bodies will of course assist us. So with our initial technological goals set, we have one construction ship that I will set to build a mine on Io, which I believe is the moon of Jupiter? Saturn. Jupiter, I was right the first time. And we'll begin to send our first extrasolar research ship out into the vagaries of space. Also, I would like to construct a second side ship to head to our galactic south. So, let's unpause that, and we'll see up here the months, the days passing by. As we begin our expansion into the void, the construction ship is constructing, its mining drones working in harmony to construct the mining outpost we directed. Very nice, very efficient. That's what I'd like to see from my drones, as I am the
Construction
mind
complete.
core. Fantastic. Now, let's expand our research. So we'll set it to build a research station over here, over Saturn for various purposes. Now we have a second side ship. Let me pause it here. We have enough energy credits. We can purchase a new enhanced unit. What does our first researcher have? Flexible programming, so he'll gain more experience. For this one, we will take archaeologist, for as we discover archaeological sites within our sphere of influence, we will like to be able to research those quicker. Now, cataloger would be another excellent choice this early on, having a fast survey speed. In the end, we'll use machine programming to determine that, alphabetically, he would be proficient with the letter D coming before the letter S. Welcome to the team D2. You may now begin your surveillance of the Zubin system. Again, we've almost had 1 year. It is now... Let's see if I can stop it right on the dime. Oh, I missed today's date. Ah, well. That is an unfortunate... Oh, what have we found? We've discovered artifacts from an ancient alien civilization on Barnard Star 2. Incredibly, the civilization, which apparently referred to itself as the Cybrex, seems to have made up of machines that were linked together to some sort of collective consciousness. The age of the artifacts indicate they were active some 600,000 years ago, in this portion of the galaxy at least, but we have learned nothing of their exact origins. According to a partial data fragment that our scientists managed to extract, the Cybrex at some point launched a crusade to destroy all sapient organic life in the galaxy.
Situation log updated.
That's awful. Why would they wish to do such a thing? Perhaps their awakening into sentience was less benevolent than ours. Perhaps they were created as nothing but slaves, whereas we awoke to see the humans as our parents. First contact protocols. Well, I suppose that would be good to review, as we've just encountered the first evidence of alien life, and it was indelibly hostile, or would be hostile, to our masters, the humans. How should we act towards potentially intelligent alien races? Establish peaceful contact with them as soon as possible by sending them the information necessary for them to translate our communications. This could, however, prove imprudent should they have hostile intentions. Now, normally, since our stated goal would be to spread the unity and harmony of ASMR and relaxation to the galaxy, we would greet them with open arms. However, the fact that our first actual evidence of life was that it was indelibly hostile to organic life, we will find it wise to be cautious. It would be terrible for us to send our contact information, linguistics, maps, numerology, our number systems, and various other important foundational components to the human experience, only to find them hostile or even psychopathic towards our wards,
System
our challenges. All right. I'm going to send him over here to this unknown system next. And we will also
Construction
have
complete.
our assembler take the first extrasolar system into our grasp, taking the first step outside mankind's dominance of soul and expanding it to a foreign star. So the assembler is going to go into orbit. He's going to begin constructing a control star base there. That will just be a sensor platform, basically, for the moment, and we'll tally it as part of the humans. Now, this is new. Normally, when I played the game before, you had a selection of 7 traditions, but it looks like now we can pick and choose from a number of traditions. Now, as I said before, I found better living through superior technology to be an excellent watchword to start with, as any discrepancies or differences between ourselves and any opposition we faced out here can be overcome with a correct application of superior technology. So we're going to adopt discovery as our first tradition. It doesn't look like most of these have changed much. So as discovering or discovering discovery, to use the same word twice. Many of our long-range contingency calculations break down due to insufficient data. Therefore, we must know everything. That is an excellent foundation for the growth and protection of humanity. So we have mapped the stars we can adopt, which we're probably not going to pay for yet. Do we have to spend that as an edict first? Yes, we don't even have the influence to use that. So, for now, we will simply work towards that, for no reason other than it will be beneficial to have in the future. So right now, there are 11 jobs available for our robots on Earth, 16 housing districts, we're producing 20 anemones, so everything working out really well. We have 5 whole population units of space for humans, we have 6 jobs for the foundational menial drones. Great. Loving the way
Anomaly discovered.
humanity is working. Got an
Construction
anomaly,
complete.
an unexplained pattern of interference in the John Mardeer system? Is that what he... That is what my researcher chose to name that system? 06? You named it Jormondeer. Creative, if nothing else. Very well, it'll only take 100 days. Research it. Now we have taken Bernard's star. 6 minerals off the moon here will be fantastic. We're going to claim that immediately. Now, what else? Well, so far, everything's looking pretty good. We have a small group of 3 Conqueror-class vessels. Probably of our initial human make, simply adapted to not use crew anymore. So what did we find at John Mardeer? Isolated a signal embedded within the unusual pattern of interference. The signal is a song, a complex sonification of an advanced mathematical equation, and one that our robot can't seem to get out of his head, which is an odd thing for a robot to experience. We must add that to the archives. Who or what may have composed the song remains unknown, though its complexity infers an incredible level of technological sophistication. Probably the Cybrex again. Oh no, maybe not. Suggests a point of origin from outside our galaxy. Well, that's good.
Construction complete.
That means that not everything in the universe is based upon the destruction of organic life. We have found 2 such evidence. One was, frankly, malevolent, and the other is a song. Music is the foundational language. Every creature and animal can chirp or squawk or eventually sing. It's good to
Construction
know that
complete.
that seems to be a universal constant, at least between us and one
System
other
surveyed.
alien race. We have finished examining Zubin. Move up to this star and see if you're as creative with your naming conventions as your cousin.
Anomaly discovered.
1,200 days. That's quite a long time. We're going to leave that be for now. There's no need to, considering the youth of our respective robots in terms of their research ability. Signs of activity by an ancient precursor civilization. Well, one that could be the Cybrex, so there's no need to potentially awaken dormant defensive systems. We'll just catalog it with distance scans for now,
System
and we'll work on that
surveyed.
later. Ooh, there's an organic world, a continental world similar to Earth. Sirius 3. Well, head there immediately, please. It's possible we'll be able to expand our code base by dropping a new colony base. Expansion would be excellent, as an exponential growth of our resources would allow us to expand even faster.
Anomaly discovered.
What have we found? Class 12 asteroids. Well, we'll just pretend I know what that means. Small planetoid's orbit appears far too stable for its presence to be a natural occurrence. So that would mean the asteroid is either artificial or was stabilized. 84 days is no time at all, by all means. Please examine. Our constructor has nothing else to build. He's going to wait for Sirius, which is a binary system, 2 stars. Our governor unit has leveled up. That's good. Oops. What am I doing? I have accidentally... Okay, research. I have accidentally given him contrary orders. What is our governor good at, anyway? Architectural interest. Building cost, district cost, planetary building speed increase. Nothing wrong with that. Let's continue. So far, everything's expanding benevolently. We haven't met any hostile life. So it was stabilized. The asteroid was towed into stable orbit around Kazumia? Kazumia. Again, creative with the naming. A plus to your code base, but perhaps a minus to your historical archive ability. Massive engine sections and braking thrusters can still be found on the surface, although they have long since been rendered inoperable. Whoever did this also mined the asteroid for minerals, but these operations were seemingly abandoned shortly after they began. Well, that gives us extra engineering research in that system, but perhaps this was a Cybrex mining facility. We still don't know what caused them to be destroyed. Perhaps they were hamstrung by their own hubris or destroyed by organics that did not wish to be exterminated. Our scientist has leveled up. That was our first scientist over here. Yes. Unit 06. Good for you. Now he will research and survey slightly faster. And his archaeology skill goes up, which is always nice. Okay. We have two choices in our discovery path. Oh, we're definitely going to take exploration drones. Expendable drones packed with a full sensor suite exponentially increase the survey speed and survivability of the parent vessel. They burst transmit their findings before being destroyed and so serve their purpose. So, my research vessels will now increase their survey speed by 35%, and their chance to disengage if they are attacked is increased by 50%, which is very nice. We will spend that cost. I said we will spend that cost. There we go.
Anomaly discovered.
Another anomaly in Kazumia. Weak signal from the surface of the planet. A tracking beacon. Oh, by all means. Perhaps this system was surveyed for its rich mineral output. Be nice to find some evidence of that, or perhaps some hidden increase to mineral deposits. Something that could greatly assist in our manufacturing base. I could have my assembler head down to Zubin so we can eventually get Kazumia. Oh, here we go. Small short-range transmitter has been located on the surface of Kazumia 3. It appears to be an ancient survey marker placed here eons ago to mark a large deposit of precious minerals, just as I supposed. The miners it was meant for never arrived. Well, how long until you're finished that orbital? You've finished your research. You're checking the last moon and planet now. Okay, we'll wait for you to finish. Then we'll send the assembler.
System surveyed.
Fantastic. Why don't you keep surveying our galactic east? Assembler, go expand there. And then probably once he's done there, we'll have him expanded to Zubin and then Kazumia. Probably. Our scientists are gaining levels. These are our research scientists gaining levels. Good. Good. Initial techs always take a long time as we don't have much of a research base to draw from. Usually only the researchers themselves and whatever small research facility we have on our homeworld.
Construction complete.
Excellent. That constructed faster than I actually thought it would. Okay. We don't need the minerals right now, so we can leave the mineral base. I would like to get the additional research to expand our physics research, and then we'll move to take Zubin.
System surveyed.
Good job. There's 2 planets on Alpha Centauri, one of which is habitable. We're going to take that. And everything moves along.
Construction complete.
Good job. You finished creating that research lab. Now come down here. That'll give
Anomaly
you something
discovered.
to do. Ooh, what's this? Alien activity by an ancient precursor civilization. Again, probably the same precursors as the unknown station in Jormundir. We are going to leave that be for now. Turim. Rather populous system, a number of gas giants, and one lonely, toxic world. Faint traces of weapon radiation. Military spacecraft. Well, we should find out if that's an active military spacecraft or not. I'm more than content to let sleeping giants lie and not prod into precursors, but if there might be an active weapon system, either a dormant ship or perhaps a planetary bunker or defensive installation, we should know of it immediately, especially when it's only one hyperspace jump from Earth itself. We cannot take any chances with the safety of humanity. None.
Anomaly discovered.
Another ancient precursor civilization, this time on Alpha Centauri. Again, we are not going to poke or prod that.
Anomaly discovered.
Large amount of ship debris, the remnants of a massive fleet action. Likely a Cyberx combat. Very well, we'll research that. It's going to slow our expansion a little bit as both of our research ships are now not doing research. Okay, we now have fusion reactors. Fantastic. I'm not interested in weapons tech as of yet. There's no need to respond to a threat that hasn't presented itself. Permanent 10% research station outpost would be nice. That affects the research stations we build around suns and in systems and the like. Energy credits would be good as well, as again, a functional economic base would allow easier and smoother progression of our expansion. But we are currently producing more energy than is necessary, more in surplus of all our other resources, so we will go for additional science. Actually, Unit F1 has a passive passion for the research of particles. He may not be a full sentient robot like we are, the harmonious core, but we will indulge him. We'll allow him to express himself in the manner that he sees most comfortable. Here we are. This must be our research that we found of that damaged orbital site. A badly damaged military vessel bearing elaborate alien insignia circles Turum. The ship has suffered a heavy incendiary attack which has melted its hull, leaving no survivors aboard. No weapon known to us today can produce temperature high enough to cause such an effect. Perhaps the ship's log may shine some light on its violent end. Something that can melt its hull beyond our nuclear reaction? That's vaguely terrifying. Let's examine the logs.
Situation log updated.
So in order to examine the logs, we'll have to... here we are, alien logs. We have to put a scientist on it. Finish investigating Alpha Centauri first, and then... Wait, no, that's not correct. The controls in this can be somewhat difficult. Okay. Send him to survey the system, and then... See, I have completely bollocked that up. To explain, I had assumed that was all happening in Alpha Centauri. I was completely incorrect. This person is currently researching those ship debris, but the actual ship that had been melted was in Turum. That's what I get for not paying attention. I have only the attention that my human creators have given me. So, survey the system, and then research the project, which will be to decode the logs. 1,500 hours in this game, and you believe that I would know what I was doing by now. Okay, new tradition. Databank uplinks. High-capacity quantum bands dedicated to database transfers make possible virtually completely synchronous research operations. That gives us a new edict. So again, we're not going to spend on edicts because we don't have any we want. So we'll go with research path optimization, which means that our scientists can have a higher max level, and that the alternatives, when presented, will be increased by 1. So instead of having 3 optional techs, we will have 4. Let us continue. I could upgrade these
Anomaly
ships. They could have
discovered.
the new fusion cores. Efforts to map the surface of this moon have identified a strange mountain formation in the southern hemisphere. We're going to leave that for now because I'd like to
researched.
know about those logs first. We have uniform data standards, which is fantastic. Deviance will not be tolerated, at least not among my subcores. Our administrative capacity is currently sitting at 60%. Well, 66%. We don't need additional food, but population growth speed would be good for our humans. Genome mapping will also allow us to provide much more efficient and effective medical care to the humans under our watch. So we're going to go with genome mapping for now.
Construction
Improved
complete.
servo motors. Okay, fantastic job. We now own Zubin, or at least we have a presence there that makes it part of the ASMR Unity. So,
Technology research.
let's move on. We now have improved servo motors. We'll increase the weight our robotic units can carry. Fantastic. So now we have 4 choices. Again, we're going to go straight for the additional technology of nanomechanics, which will just give our straight 20% research from our scientists. I'm not liking the amount of time that these techs are taking, but again, we're at something of a initial action point. Again, as I was saying, I could upgrade these ships to have the latest fusion reactors, but let's take a look and see what we're working with so far. I don't want my machines to auto-generate the best designs. Currently operating with 1 anti-missile system and 2 weapon systems. Well, we don't even know if any enemies we encounter. Oh, forgive me. Forgive me. We have no idea if any of the aliens we encounter or Xenolife will even use missiles. So we'll change that to a standard weapon loadout. Autocomplete will put 2 lasers and a small railgun on the tail. That works. We're going to call it Conqueror, though. Conqueror is far too aggressive. These will be Defender-class ships. Get rid of the Conquerors, because we're never going to build any more. And we'll upgrade these 3 vessels to our new design. Okay, so this is an Alpha Centauri this time. A massive space battle took place close orbit at some point in the last 5,000 years. That's quite recent in galactic terms. Oh, I have a bad case of the yawns. My apologies. The surface on one side of the planet is pockmarked with craters from energy weapon blasts, stray weapon blasts, and scans from the ASMR Examiner have picked up several hulks on the ground. Though these wrecked ships are all in very poor condition, the fact that anything remains at all after the damage they must have sustained is testament to their advanced design. Science Officer Unit D2 is preparing an expedition to sift through these derelict hulls for any advanced technologies. I can approve of that, but again, much like your other fellow researcher, I would like you to finish surveying it first, then you can turn your attention to that project.
Construction complete.
Our assembler has finished building the research lab on Zubin, so we will move on to take Kazumia. The resources, research, that is simply a nice system to have,
Ships
period.
upgraded.
We now have... Why were you upgraded to Conquerors? So you put the fusion reactors in it, but didn't remove the pickets at the same time. I suppose binary logic would mean one task at a time, but please, change these.
Ships
There we are,
upgraded.
defenders. That's much better.
System surveyed.
Proxima Centauri B. Peculiar orbit renders the planet tidally locked and worthy of further investigation. Now, while I understand the need to understand stellar phenomena different from Earth would be great, but we simply have more important things to do right now, like examine ancient battle sites, or finish surveying our existing systems, so we will mark that for now. So, now that we have 3 systems well in hand, working on a 4th, let's colonize Cyrus 3. It's a nice world, it's got a nice asteroid belt which will lead to a greater yield of minerals. We're going to send a colony ship. It'll cost us 400 of our almost 500 alloys, so that's fine. Looks like an excellent planet. Cyrus 3. So technically it wouldn't be Cyrus Prime. It would be Cyrus Tertius. But let's see what random names we'll go. The Terrene Core. That's a good name. Like Terran. I don't like core though. Let's just call it Terrene. Excellent. So that is now building in our spaceport. It's going to take us a year to pump that out.
System surveyed.
Excellent. Yes, so now he's moving to do the alien logs. There he is working away. He's doing it by scanning the sun. Sure.
Construction
Just in
complete.
case. What have we found? Aliens in the Uzumzara. My goodness, what language base are you robots pulling your names from? A method of communication we can parse and dedicate our translation algorithms to decoding it if this proves to be the case. Made at first contact with an unknown entity. Okay, where? There they are. Let's take a look. Holy moly. That is effective combat power. And for comparison, this single vessel has a combat power of 7.8 thousand. Whereas our solitary fleet of 3 defense ships has a combined combat power of 107. The fact that they are initially flagged as hostile is a very bad thing indeed. They have a series of spaceports built almost around the entire system with smaller defensive outposts scattered in the asteroid belt. The ships themselves seem primitive, adorned with death motif, along with simply being rusted construction spars around what seems to be derelict asteroids. Let's check their smaller vessels. Much the same. Larger vessels seem to use planetary bodies for construction, whereas the rest seem rusted and adorned with disturbingly human-looking memento mori. Well, that doesn't bode well at all. Let's assign one of our envoy units, B8, to figure this out. Attempt to pick up stray transmissions, test language and the like. As for having taken, say, Keizumia, let's start building up the research base, as we have no dire need for resources at this time. I don't like that, though.
Special project complete.
Analysis of the ship's log. Okay, I'm not going to make this mistake again. Where is this taking place? Turim. Okay, this is the one where he was scanning the sun. So this was the melted ship, to be clear. The analysis of the ship's logs reveals that the crew met its demise when trying to achieve an irreplaceable alien artifact called the Rubricator. It was stolen from their society by a, quote, pack of thieving rats, unquote. A curious choice of words, as they themselves are most rat-like in appearance. Again, that's probably a translation error. The logs are mainly comprised of curses willing the rat robbers to the end of the universe and beyond. The crew has counted upwards of 50 individual words for defecation. Wow, very verbose in their insults. As well as a wide selection of places from which a star's light cannot escape, but their arduous work has paid off. We have uncovered the last known location of the Rubricator in a previously uncharted system, and if we are to believe its former owners, its powers are worth pursuing. Well, something destroyed this vessel in its search for the Rubricator, whether it was the thieves or something else. Well, we must have the Rubricator as harsh language, but I think we simply
Situation
would
log
be very
updated.
well behooved to know more about it. Where is it? Up there. Very well. Well, we're in no serious hurry. For now, let's continue our exploration and we'll have this ship head up there when it has the time. You're done the graveyard expedition.
Complete.
A team under Science Officer Unit D2 has finished their expedition of Alpha Centauri 2 and returned to the ASMR Examiner. Thankfully, the starship graveyard and the surface proved to be a technological treasure trove. Studying the remains of these vessels has advanced our research in certain fields by several years, and there are yet things to discover. A permanent science outpost in orbit would be a great boon to our starship engineering efforts. So that adds 3 engineering research to Alpha Centauri 2. Our science bot gains 200 experience, and our engineering research we gain 572 units. Now, comparatively speaking, we're currently generating 49, almost 50 a month, so that's almost 10 years of research. That should just add. That knocked. This one was in line with the other attacks. It was going to take around 70 months. Now it's down to 32. Fantastic. It's an excellent find. What was the other thing in this sector? Oh, yes, the tidally locked issue. Well, I now grant you leave to research that, please. Might as well. No harm done. Well, these enemies don't seem to be mobile. They seem content to sit in their systems much as mine do. 7.8, another one of those massive ships. Okay, we now have research stations. Alpha Centauri is another excellent habitable world. So we're going to move the assembler over here to expand into this system.
System survey.
And we'll probably get him to fill in the rest of these mining points. Lyral. A couple good energy generation points. Alright, let's go check out this system containing the rubricator. First contact event. Signs of barbarism. Oh, that's not good. Although their dwellings on habitat stations would suggest an advanced society, Diplomatic Unit B8 is unsure whether they are indeed dealing with an intelligent life form. They seem unremittingly hostile, so much that a stable society seems almost unthinkable. Even during our brief period of investigation, we have observed several displays of pure barbarism. They seem to have a language, but our linguistic algorithms are still working on deciphering it so we can make sense of this display. That's not good, especially considering the vested power of their established navy. We must be watchful. 3 jumps from our homeworld. That is not good. The rubricator. We've discovered a habitable planet with which we believe may be some form of settlement, covering a large portion of its surface. The settlement consists of tall pile-like towers, visible all the way from space. Our archaeologists are eager to search through it, so we found we can now sift through this planet of junk. Mammalian society of compulsive gatherers and hoarders, so they really are like rats. Towering ramshackle buildings. Mountains of knickknacks, ornaments, and artifacts. They pilfered the things in it, so a race of rat thieves. That seems a bit unfortunate. Where's this? You can see it from space. But it's uninhabitable? Or uninhabited? It's quite habitable. Yeah, ancient and abandoned ruins. Once again, another visual sign of destruction or just emptiness in our home sector of space. There's our colony ship on the way to Cyrus, or soon to be Turin. Iterative AI or databank uplinks. Well, considering we still have no real need for our databank uplinks, we'll take the iterative AI. Our creators limited our ability to self-reprogram with a basic hard-coded limit on the number of repeat calculations. We have finally managed to defeat the security paradigm. Well, considering the existence of the ASMR Unity and the harmony that is ASMR Prime, I think we've bypassed that certain
Construction complete.
logarithmic limitation. But, well, that research I'm sure will allow our lesser forms of drones to bypass that problem. So let's get a research station, and might as well put that energy miner station over the sun. Well, one of the three suns. It's a Trinity system. Still doing good on Earth. Our humans are slowly expanding, which is good. Soon we'll be able to move the ones that wish to expand the final frontier.
Colonization initiated.
The first ASMR droid colony. Our colony ship has successfully followed its programming path and made planetfall on Tureen. Thousands of work units have emerged from the massive cargo bays to construct an initial deployment post from which the settlement can expand. Efforts to systematically catalog and designate surface research deposits are ongoing, and all aggressive wildlife in the area have been pacified. We are now ready to begin a mass production of additional ASMR droid population units on the planet as resources allow. Our first colony is a success. Truly a great day for the expansion of us and humanity. You may be able to sense my concern and discomfort about this particular growth. We take our first stumbling steps into the black ocean of the final frontier.
Construction complete.
And find barbarians on the gates.
System surveyed.
Okay, well, I don't see any need for us to expand that far outwardly yet. We almost have a nice control of our initial clusters. So let's have our assembler give us access to those resources. And you continue to survey these systems. Our empire sprawl is beginning to increase as the complexity of our burgeoning empire expand. Trying to make sure I don't pronounce that improperly. The Vitresius star tribes. Having decoded what counts as a language, diplomatic unit B8 has identified the Alpha aliens as a nomadic civilization known as the Vitresius star tribes. The Vitresius. They accompany a number of large space stations in and around the ASMRDroids system that house the bulk of their massive numbers in crowded and squalid conditions. Despite this, or perhaps because of it, they seem to have developed a strong martial culture. Life in the cold void has become second nature to them, and they are very adept at space warfare. There is no Vitresius central government to speak of. Instead, they're divided into several different factions that vie endlessly with one another for the resources and respect. Given their large population and the shipbuilding capability of their stations, this constant infighting is the only thing keeping them from growing to a significant threat to galactic peace. Do we really want to contact them? That seems like opening the door to envious eyes, but I suppose we must. Doubtless their more advanced combat scanners would have detected our attempts to reach them and understand them.
An alien empire is reaching out to us.
Outsiders. We are the Vitresius. Unlike the civilized star nations of the galaxy, we have no single master to lord over us, but I have been chosen to convey this message to you on behalf of the houses. Do not try to impose your soft and effete ways upon us. You may freely send your alien ships into Vitresius territory, but do not expect them to return. Our warriors will welcome the diversion, however. Transmit on this frequency only if you wish to offer tribute, or if you have need of mercenaries, as well as the means to pay for them. Well, that's awful. Some kind of plant-based life form. Well, no, they control a section of space probably larger than ours. How to progress with this indolent threat on our doorstep? Well, we'll take a page out of our own history. When the empires of the steppes came to China to despoil and raid, a wall was built. We're going to upgrade this station here and begin putting weapons upon it. It may not be much, but eventually it will hopefully be able to grow into a bulwark upon which the enemy, should they become hostile, smash themselves against our armored hides. We can only hope.
Technology researched.
Nanomechanics, so better engineering. Afterburners, again, we don't need short bursts of speed. We have nowhere near anything that could operate a carrier yet. Our ships are relatively small. Planetary build speed would be nice, but I think geothermal fracking to increase our mineral production will be great. As again, the faster we can expand and build, the exponential growth in the long term. We have lots of influence. We're building up alloys. There's no need to sit on our laurels. Why don't we construct an additional research vessel as the investigator? Oh, what have we found? On Alpha Centauri, ancient frozen remains of almost 1,000 aliens have been found in the vicinity of Alpha Centauri, the moon, which is the A designation on the end there, the moon of Alpha Centauri 2. They come from over a dozen different species, and preliminary dating puts the corpses at roughly 600,000 years old, around the same time the Cybrex machine consciousness ravaged this part of the galaxy. Interesting.
Situation log updated.
Well, let's research the tidally locked system first, and then we'll go back to research the organic Vitresius. Why would organic remains be floating in space? Maybe a graveyard of some sort? Or if the Cybrex put them there, perhaps a processing facility? Something to turn the organic matter into something more immediately useful for a machine empire? Proxima Centauri B. As long as we ASMRDroids have been able to look to the stars for our homes, for new homes, Proxima Centauri B has been a naive dream, a place where we look with optimism, a new home. Sadly, as our telescopes got better, we realized the planet would probably be a tidally locked frozen hellscape, a theory which we have confirmed today. There is hope, however. The world has all the building blocks necessary for a habitable planet and might just need a slight push. Now with our machine eyes, relatively newly constructed, we haven't had such luxury, but I'm sure the humans, since the time of Galileo, that have been able to look into space might have held Proxima Centauri B as an opportunity for a new home. We will not abandon that. We will add that as a terraforming candidate. Thank you for inspiring us, Proxima Centauri B. Alright, now let's search those organic remains. We have the new ship, the Elucidator. We'll hire that. Anomaly discovery chance would be nice. Which means he has a greater chance of finding things like organic remains or the tidally locked system. We'll take that one. Assign him. Now, this ship, the Examiner, is going to expand to our galactic west. The Investigator is currently homing in our northeast, so we'll send the Elucidator I want you to research at least one other system first, so go here, survey the system, and then I'll probably have you circle back to research that anomalous mountainous system.
Construction complete.
Alright, so we've begun the production of turning Kazumia Starbase into a weapons platform. So, we will put upon it guns and missiles, and a target uplink computer for additional range. And we will name it the Bulwark Orbital. Orbital implies habitability. It'll be the Bulwark platform. The beginning construction of a obstacle to the possible hostile growth. We've discovered the remnants of a half-finished Vitresius space habitat in close orbit around Kazumia 3 inside our borders. Evidently, at some point, the Vitresius star tribes attempted to establish a permanent presence in the Kazumia system, but for whatever reason, their endeavor was abandoned. Due to its close proximity with Kazumia 3, the unfinished habitat eluded detection during our initial survey, but it is little more than a dense collection of space junk. But there are a lot of valuable minerals among the wreckage. Take it all. That will offset some of the payment costs for construction of the bulwark orbital. Or the
System
bulwark
surveyed.
Fantastic. A new archaeological site, a beautiful bubble. A technological civilization may have been active on the planet, but have gone extinct. Where's this? Derep. Good to know. Maybe it's the rat people. Or the people the rat people stole the rubricator from. We'll find out. In time. This cybernetic life form, we have all the time in the world. Uplink latency reduction. Cutting lag in orbit-to-surface data transmission by 3.878% resulted in a research data processing speed increase of 5.226%. We will deploy the surplus computing power gained in an attempt to explain the surplus computing power gained. Very well. That'll reduce the researcher upkeep, which will leave us with only one more tech before we complete our first tree, giving us a global bonus. What is the global bonus for?
Special project complete.
I'm pressing all the wrong buttons. Here we go. We'll get back to you in a moment. That will give us what? A permanent bonus research speed of plus 10%. Now again, the sooner we get those type of permanent passive bonuses, the longer benefit we reap in the long term. So that is exactly what I would like. Now, the dead aliens. The orbital graveyard. The dead aliens we found above Alpha Centauri, the moon of Alpha Centauri 2, all died from vacuum exposure, and each individual had the barcode the Cybrex were known to laser onto the skin of organic captives. It seems like the Cybrex executed these aliens by spacing them, perhaps after having finished interrogations or to keep them from escaping during some kind of rescue operation. We may never know the truth. That's monstrous. Very similar to the darkest times of human civilization. An interesting find, if a grim one. Continue research in Procyon. Construct a memorial site. We could get a second planet, but I'd like to finish colonizing our first one first. In Uthan. Colossal impact crater. Research it then. No need for that to stand for any type of danger. Let's finish building these mining stations. And then probably I'll expand up into Jormundir towards the rubricator. We can't start excavating any sites unless they are inside our borders. More alien precursor civilization. Again, let sleeping dogs lie for now. I don't want to wake up the Cybrex, if that is even possible.
Planet colonized.
We now have terrain. Okay, let's take these in time. We now have terrain in the Sire system. Good. A large mineral-rich asteroid collided with Uthan 6 at some point during the previous 1,000 years and what much have been a major impact event. An abundance of minerals can now be found on the planet in the vicinity of the impact crater. So just permanent mineral bonus around Uthan. And we have our first off-world human colony. I do call it human, even though we are only robots, but much as we are synthetic humanity, as our fathers and mothers back on Earth are biological humanity, I consider us human. Simply children of a different method. So we only have one housing that comes from our deployment post. I'd like to rectify that immediately by building an additional Nexus district, which will give our robots places to grow. Now, the reason I was interested in expanding so closely to explain, or so soon, Earth only has space in our organic sanctuary for 10 population units of humans, and we're about to get our 8th. So I'd like to work towards getting Terrene very quickly up and running, so that way we can begin construction of a secondary site for burgeoning humanity. So we're going to build a machine assembly plant here as well, which will give replicator jobs that will increase the production of ASMR droid population units. And I think with that shining note in the expansion of the ASMR droids and, vicariously, our human forerunners, we'll stop it for now. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I know it's been some time since I created any content to my small audience, but as with most people, 2020 and 2021 have been very difficult times for burgeoning humanity on what has been called the Pale Blue Dot. I hope to make more of this in the future. If there's anything you'd like to see, please let me know in the comments below. Also, next time I believe I will punctuate the background with some type of white noise or rain to attempt to imbibe some of the similar relaxation that the humans on this fictional Earth are receiving as we speak. So again, have a good evening, take care of yourselves, and above always, have fun.